Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with um, the Wrestling Challenge Review Series for the year of 1986, episode for the 20th of September of that year. And again, we'll be running through as many Wrestling Challenge episodes as possible. Hopefully, they'll have all 450, 500 of them up over the next couple of years. But I don't have a lot of faith in WWE's upload schedule to the network, just like I don't have a lot of faith in the WWE for just about anything. Anyone who does, I think, is a little bit mentally slow. But anyway, the this particular edition continues to march towards some really cool things. Uh, they still care enough about the show that uh, they are giving folks the nature of at least one, if not two, marquee matches per week. This will die within 6 months to a year, as it does with all syndicated programs. But without a doubt, there's there's some interest there in terms of kind of going forward a little bit. Uh, Anyway, Islanders versus Hart Foundation is what opens us up, and that can be an enjoyable thing. Obviously, the Hart Foundation still your, I believe, nope, not your tag team champion. Still building to winning the championships. They win those in early '87. I think January '87 is when they picked them up. But they are building right along to winning them from the Bulldogs. So, certainly the Hart Foundation is getting more notoriety as far as their opponents, the Islanders. Islanders are baby faces, which is a little weird, certainly. Islanders being baby faces weird just because the majority of their run, they are heels managed by Bobby Heenan, so it's weird to see them in a more fan favorite role. I understand it. I actually liked the Islanders. They were one of my, I wouldn't say my favorite tag teams total, but at the time they were definitely a team that I cared more about than average. Um, I became a fan in '89 and fell in love with Haku right away, partially because he walked by me and at a house show and scared the heck out of me. So I figured might as well cheer for a guy who scares me, and went back and saw the Islanders and enjoyed them quite a bit. Islanders and Hart Foundation though is your big match of the day, which they open with, which is interesting. I think they really were trying to get people to see Challenge at the time as a can't miss prospect. The Islanders make their way to the ring. They're in traditional, I guess you'd say, Islander garb. A couple of times they wrestle barefoot. This is one of those times. Hart comes in and hits a body slam on what I believe is Tama. And then it's interesting. No pink tights, just pink stripes, black and pink, for the Hart Foundation here. Anvil using the power, Hart using the finesse, and we see the Hart Foundation, managed by Jimmy Hart by this point, pretty aggressive. We actually see a modified, what looks like the elbow from the second rope with a backbreaker hold from Neidhart, almost like a decapitator by demolition. Maybe a year and a half later, and that's just interesting to me that that's seen in the middle of a match here. Not a finish, something to point out. Anyway, Bret Hart stays in the ring while Neidhart and the other Islander go brawling to the outside. Hart gets a cut off and hits a sliding elbow drop, and the Islanders brawl outside the ring with their opponents pretty aggressively. Meanwhile, all four guys enter back into the ring. Tama is paired off with Jim Neidhart. Haku paired off with Bret Hart. The Hart Foundation sent together, the crashing together, and a drop kick by, I believe, Haku, and, kind of the continued go around. Islanders really doing a very good job cleaning house. A big body slam by the Islanders, and uh, the Hart Foundation feels the need to bail out, and they actually walk away from the match and take the count-out loss. Wrestling rebuttal. Adrian Adonis challenges Roddy Piper to debate what the fans want. Adonis has Cowboy Bob Orton, Ace Bob Orton, as his second. The debate over whether the fans want the flower shop of Adrian Adonis or Piper's Pit is what the challenge is for. That's supposed to be in a couple of weeks. That sets up an amazing angle in itself. Randy Savage against Troy Gaines, Tony Garea. For some reason, I know, because I was thinking of Troy Martin. I don't know why Gaines came into my head. But anyway, Macho Man is your Intercontinental Champion at this point, and he is looking regal in a beautiful blue sequined robe. Goes after Garea pretty aggressively, elbow to the top of the head. Actually wrestles with the bandana on, crossbody by Garea. Garea, former multi-time tag team champion, and Savage cuts him off, and we see a shot to the top of the head with an elbow. Savage ducks, and Garea gets almost gets a sunset flip, doesn't get it. Small package, though, by Garea. He gets that, but only in the short term. Savage with a back elbow, and again sending Garea to the outside. Doesn't stay there for very long. Referee unimpressed. Superstar Billy Graham does an inset promo during this. Savage brings Garea back into the ring, hits a modified power slam, goes to the top rope, and hits the top rope. Savage pinnacle elbow drop that we're used to seeing. Boom, bam, he wins the match. Jake Roberts on his rise of himself and the Snake, basically encouraging people not to trust him or the Snake, literally or figuratively. That's pretty clear. Machines, who are masked men, one of whom is suspected to be Andre the Giant at the time. Don't know why they did this character, but they did. The Machines versus Lee Navarro and I believe Al Jackson. I know Jackson, the last name. Al, I believe, is it. But anyway, Navarro, pretty much an on and off enhancement talent here. Jackson, of course, Tiger Chung Lee is the actual talent. For some reason, it says Jackson on the network. And anyway, actually, Al Jackson is there. So I guess there's a 3-on-2 sort of match here. Anyway, Machines come out. They are, it's a 6-man tag team match. That would explain why. Machines come out. They are pretty aggressive there. Obviously, they're in all black. The idea behind the Machines is that Andre the Giant is one of them. I know Bill Eadie's another. Blackjack Mulligan, I think, is another. I don't know who the third one is in this particular TV taping. Inset from Bobby Heenan basically says he knows the truth. He knows that Andre is one of the Machines, and he's going to make his men, whether it be Studd and Bundy or Hercules. Well, Hercules isn't his yet, but whomever, discover who that is, be it the King Harley Race or whomever, jumping back elbow by one of the Machines. They're all dressed the same, and so that's a pretty big deal. Lou Albano is the manager of the Machines, which I don't remember from my study of this era. Remember, I became a fan 3 years later. So going back and watching 86, 87, and 88 is always fun for me because there's things I've forgotten that I studied over the years. You got to understand, when I got into the independent world in 97, my tape trading started around 99, 2000, and I was obsessed with any wrestling that was before my time as a fan. So chop to the top of the head and a cover and a 3 count for the Machines. Really inconsequential match. Coco Ware discussing the bird dance, wanting to get people up and excited, wanting to have people have a good time. And talks about his bird, Frankie. Then we see a commercial for the WWF magazine. That's just to hype the magazine, basically put it in circulation to compete with the other magazines like, but not limited to, Pro Wrestling Illustrated and the Weston family of magazines. The Dream Team, Beefcake and Valentine, former tag team champions, still teaming here. I didn't realize that well, actually, if I thought about it a little more, I should realize that they continue to team post WrestleMania 2 because they don't officially break up until Beefcake turns babyface in '87 as part of WrestleMania 3. Dick Slater and Lanny Poffo providing the opposition. Weird run there. Slater is a guy I never got. I'm hoping that as I study older stuff, I will gain a respect for him that I've never had, because Dick Slater to me just strikes me as a guy who's, well, not that big a deal. Anyway, former tag team champions, the Dream Team, looking pretty good here. Hammer, obviously, more of the methodical nature. Mr. Fuji, kind of talking about wanting his teams to do well. The Hammer misses a elbow drop and hot tag to Dick Slater, which is just a weird combination. Slater, I think, would have done better in the WWF as a heel, because nearly every time I hear Slater doing well, it is as a heel, so I think maybe that would have helped. Anyway, Slater hits some pretty hard shots on Valentine, in the sense that they're both brawlers. That makes a good bit of sense, but it still doesn't really get him over to a great degree. Hard shots, and eventually Slater gets a near fall, doesn't get all he wants on it. Gets enough, but not fully, everything that's needed. And then finally, the vertical suplex on the Hammer, Greg Valentine. Hammer goes over, crawls over, tags Beefcake. Beefcake gets body slam. Slater looks pretty aggressive here. Johnny V at ringside, still managing the Dream Team, spinning around, spinning neckbreaker by Slater. Slater actually getting more offense than I would imagine him to get in a match like this. Again, tag off. This time, Lanny Poffo comes in, cleans house a bit. Poffo and Beefcake just strikes me as an odd team combination, or competitor combination. Big back body drop and a sunset flip by Poffo. Poffo, a guy who I love the Genius character, but I also love Poffo in the ring for the time period. All four guys in the ring and going at it pretty aggressively. And the baby faces take control for a while. Poffo hits a monkey flip out of the corner and kind of takes control of the match a little bit. Doesn't get all he wants on that, but they hit kind of a stun gun style maneuver over the top, and that allows the Dream Team to get the victory. Snake Pit with Orndorff and Heenan. Basically, the challenge there is laid out to Hulk Hogan. Orndorff implies, as he does in an interview, to close the program, that Hogan stole everything from the music, the cupping of the ear, and the posing from him. That's the basic idea here. Then we move on to Sika, the father of Roman Reigns and the one half of the original Wild Samoans, with Afa, against Rick Hunter. Rick Hunter, perennial enhancement talent, tries a few punches, doesn't get nearly anywhere with them. And Sika opening up with a combination of chops and punches on his adversary here, choking out Hunter and staying right on the man, not really giving any quarter kicks by Sika. Sika manages to do everything he possibly can. Honky Tonk Man does an inset promo during this time. The Grand Wizard, the Wizard, otherwise known as Prince Curtis Ikea at ringside. Grand Wizard, of course, Ernie Roth, who passed away in 1983 or 84. I wish I actually had seen more of him, because the lore is that Blassie, who I've seen a good bit of, Albano, who I've seen the most of, and the Wizard were the managers of the 80s of early 80s and 70s of note in the New York territory. Actually, would really like to have seen more of the 70s wrestling style all the way around. I've seen majority 81 through 89, but 80 and before, difficult for most territories to find concurrent footage. Anyway, headbutts by Sika, and he hits a Samoan drop, and ultimately 1, 2, 3, he gets a victory. We go to the Killer Bees, and this match is kind of interesting. Killer Bees, of course, B. Brian Blair, Jim Brunzell. Notable guy in this particular match, and Terry Gibbs is not the guy. Jack Foley, otherwise known as Mick Foley, one of Foley's original opportunities here, looking to be in $1 million. I have not seen this particular enhancement talent match for Mick, so this is interesting. I've seen his match with Kamala. I've seen his match with the Bulldogs, the one where he broke his jaw, but I've not seen the Killer Bees match, so that is interesting to me. Of course, this is Mick, about 2 years out of wrestling school, maybe something like that. Roll through into an armbar by Brunzell. Brunzell, of course, a mainstay in the AWA for several years as tag team with Greg Gagne as the High Flyers. Tags off to Brunzell. Tags off to Blair. Blair, mainly a guy in the Florida territory. I've mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. Great matches across several territories with Paul Orndorff. If you ever get the chance to see Blair and Orndorff, worth going out of your way to see as a contest or series of them. Obviously, the Killer Bees managing to get some double team maneuvers, get some double drop kicks, and the like, and ultimately get victories here. Then we move to the last main event of the day, or the last interview of the day. Orndorff and Heenan talking about Hulk Hogan, talking about how Hogan stole the music, stole the posing, stole everything from Orndorff, and how Orndorff is going to be the rightful world champion. This leads into a series between Hogan and Orndorff that lasts several months, culminating in the big event and all of that. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.